All right, Jesus Christ. I know I keep teasing. I keep telling you guys that this is one of the worst horror movies I've seen in a long time. And I'm going to rip it a new one. But it's coming. That review is coming, okay? And I don't know, that review might be short. I might be one of those fuck this movie guys whenever I get to that and not have that much to say about it. But I want to talk a little bit about it. But I want to see if I can show footage. Best horror film of the age. Yeah, they got some good ones. They got some good ones over there for sure. Oh, it's all good, John. Hey, man, I appreciate you popping in. You know, when we go super late like this, and it's kind of a last minute announcement, one or two people show up, but it's good. I love hanging out, even if it's just with one person. But I got to get these reviews out, man, because I got a crazy busy week. So let's see. You're enjoying Ahsoka. All right. Okay. Awesome. All right. So this next horror movie. Oh God. This next horror movie, in comparison, I think people would enjoy more than We Need to Do Something. Would enjoy more than House of Darkness. But unfortunately, God, this movie, Jesus Christ. So we're gonna get into it, and does more stuff happen? Kind of than the other two films I mentioned. Is there more gore and more killing? Yes, kind of. But let's go ahead and get into it. I'm talking about 2008's Plague Town, directed by David Gregory, starring Jocelyn DeCrosta, Erica Rhodes, David Lombard, Elizabeth Bove, Michael Donaldson, Lindsay Goranson, James Wark, Catherine McMorrow, and many others. Plot synopsis: an American family visiting their Irish roots accidentally stumble on a horde of bloodthirsty mutant children. Yes. So I would say, what is the best part of this movie? I guess the beginning. The beginning of this film was pretty wild. So, I still haven't seen it yet. But yeah, so the beginning of this movie is wild. You have, a woman who's about to. It sounds cringe. A plague town, the town of the plague. I know, right? So we're like, all right, let's give it a shot. Let's watch this. I mean, I watched this with Lady Fat Blood. I wish she was here to review it with me. But yeah, man. So the beginning of the film was wild. So you have a lady who's in labor, and on it, she's there with her husband and her little handmaiden, and then out of nowhere, priests come through the door, and, and the priests want to like. It seems like he has bad intentions to her, whatever she's giving birth, but they're watching, and she finally gives birth. They let her give birth, and then they give the baby. They put the baby in a basket on the side, and the priest looks at the baby one time, and then all of a sudden just pulls the Three Stooges, and out of nowhere just pulls out a gat. He just pulls out a gun out of nowhere, getting ready to shoot the baby. Of course, his the younger priest that was with him was like, "What are you doing? You've gone too far." And ends up attacking the priest. The handmaiden joins in, and we get a pretty decent kill. And the younger priest was more. He says something in the dialogue like, "We have to stop doing this to the children and let things be," something like that. So you never know. He may have been busting caps on little babies up to that point, and at this point, the younger priest had enough. So they end up killing the priest. Well, we got 15 years later, 14, 15 years later. And now you have this family that comes across these extremely annoying ragamuffins because, there's nothing more horrifying and scary than young kids that skip. Oh my God. Young kids that skip. Tra la 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 la. That's right. Tra la 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 and all around. Yes. The fear. I remember growing up as, when I was a little samurai running around, I go down the sidewalk and there's kids out there skipping towards me and I freaked out and I wet myself, especially when they were tra la 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 lying and whistling and singing all the time. I mean, the fear, the terror. So you're going to get a lot of that in this movie. So, hold on a second. The priest was right, yeah. Yeah, so oh my god. So, we're introduced to a horrible family. Everyone's annoying. I mean, people complain about the family being unwatchable and we need to do something. Well, they need to watch the family in this movie. But the young goth girl is the daughter here. She's like by default the most likable character because she just kind of keeps to herself. She's not a bitch. Her bitch is her bitch. Her sister, the blonde in the back there, her older sister, who's marrying this douchebag in the middle here. She's like her her bitchness is cranked up to 11 in this movie. Like, it doesn't take much to set her off. Even when the young goth girl, her sister, is, like, really not doing that much to antagonize her, she's being herself. It just sets off, the older sister, the blonde, and the movie's doing that on purpose because they end up bonding later and in one of the most ridiculously unsatisfying ways. I'll talk about it when we get to it. What's with the goth girl? I know, right? You got one goth girl conjured something, and it's the end of the world, and now this one, right? Uh, but so we're introduced to the douchebaggery of all douchebag boyfriends, or fiance, excuse me, on the right hand side. So the father on the left, he's like he's trying to bond with the family and take them out there to experience their roots, and they go on this little vacation sightseeing thing, and he doesn't really want to bring douchebag fiance along, but they're eventually gonna get married. Him, the douchebag and his sister, his daughter, they're gonna get married. So he's like, all right, let me see if I can get to know him a little bit better. Nothing I can do about it. And yeah, I would have slapped this douchebag if he was in my family after just listening to this guy talk and how arrogant and just disrespectful he is. Yeah, he would have got the samurai slap. That would have been the end of that if I was the father. All right. So anyway, so being douchebaggery, but then we're brought to a scene where basically they get lost. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know where they're going. Right. And they're out there in the forest area. There's rural areas. There's all these hills. They don't know where they're going. There's no really civilization. They missed their bus, their tour bus, because douchebag and blonde bitch wanted to make out, and so they ended up being late. So then they ended up being stranded, and things escalate from there. So they're all hanging out. They find this abandoned car. They get, there's no keys, but they just want to sit down and rest. So they sit in the car, and it's cold. So they like, let's just get in the car. Well, douchebag wants to go, fuck the blonde bitch somewhere. So they go off walking in the wilderness. He says he's going to pee, but you know what he really wants. They go out there. They find this abandoned cabin. They go in the cabin. He's all like, "Hey, this is exciting. Let's fuck in somebody else's house." Yeah. Of course, the blonde bitch is like, "Are you insane? Let's get out of here." They leave and they run into this villager, and the villager is kind of creepy. They ask for directions, and the villager says like some dialogue back that's kind of like, "All right, that's weird. Let's walk away." The villager tries to grab. He's like asking for the blonde girl. He's like, she needs to come with me because they'll get her. They will get her, but she will be safe with me. She's better off with me. And that's exiting talk, right? It's like, all right, let's go. Exit stage right. And he tries to grab for her. The guy's like, fuck off. And then out of nowhere, villager busts out a gat, Three Stooges style, and shoots the douchebag boyfriend in the neck. And we were all like, yay, pretty good blood effect. And me and Leah Pepper was like, yay, one down. Who's next, right? And you think he's dead, but he's not, unfortunately. Again, which leads to more unsatisfaction, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later here. Hold on. The Steve, yes, right. That's right. You're getting the Seagal, son. Uh, so the blonde bitch runs away and hides. Old villager, horny guy loses her, and he says, "They're gonna get you. You must fear the skipping and the tra-la-lying and the kids singing. You will fear Kids Bop." Actually, Kids Bop is pretty frightening. Now that I'm I'm talking about it right now. or that mother was that fucking 1-8-700 cars for kids fucking theme song. Oh my god, you can't get that out of your head. The horror, the horror. Well, anyway, let me get back to let me get back to Kids Bop, the horror film here. Okay, so now the dad's worried, right? They haven't come back. So now the dad makes the correct, smart decision and abandons his wife and daughter, the youngest daughter, in the car, just leaves them on the side of the road in this car and goes into the woods. He sees the two skipping, tra-la-lying kids, and he ends up at the same cabin, the fuck cabin that did not end up being the fuck cabin. So he goes in there. He yells for help. He's like, "Hey, anyone here? Is anybody around?" And two kids boppers with masks on, spooky the Ookie, they show up and they start tra-la-lying and skipping around. And then, one of them stabs him. And I think this speed, I think this scene needed ninja run speed. I think this scene needed to be undercranked. Okay. There needed to be some undercranking here. Because I'm sorry, I'm not going to allow some slow ass tra-la-la and skippity kids bopper to just skip behind me and then stab motherfucker in the arm. And then, oh God, how did that happen? This character, this dad, has the worst self-awareness ability ever. Ever. I'm like, dude, you didn't see, okay, whatever. But it gets worse. So, what do you do after someone comes out of nowhere, skipping and tra la la? What do you do, right? When they come up and stab you and they tra la la away, you would follow that person, right? You wouldn't go back to your family or try to pat yourself up and go back to your family. You'd follow that person, right? That's common sense. So he goes into the next room, and then now the fear has been escalated from tra la lying to tee-heeing now. Because now the fear level is cranked up to 11. Because now we're at tee-hee level. So we have the tee-heers, the two girls, and this is how the scene plays out. Just have them fucking ninja run. Just for no reason, let the young girls be fast as fuck. Or their supernatural abilities, something. But this is how the scene plays out. The dad is standing in the room like this. All right. Looking ahead at both kid boppers. Okay. And they tra la la around him like this, taking their time, singing 1-800 cars for kids. And they have a wire, and they both bring the wire around and the father still doesn't know what's happening. Again, the worst self-awareness ever. He just stands there, and the wire goes around his head, and they just still taking their time, and he's just standing there. And they both come on the sides here, and then they do the yank, they do the yoink, and they tried something here with the special effect, which doesn't work. It doesn't quite work when there's the showing this close up of the head getting split in half. But the faraway shot with the dad going like that, and then the upper half of his head sliding off, that kind of worked. Now, again, a decent attempt at a gore effect, but just the setup was so fucking terrible that I couldn't really appreciate the fucking gore effect, man. So Megan dancing in the hallway, way worse. And it's just like, but if fuck it, give the kids super speed. They're like ninja run. This run, dead. Fine. I mean, it's better than like, how did he not see two girls skipping to the tulips or whatever the fuck the song is through the tulips? Okay, tiptoe through the tulips, whatever the fucking shit is. Well, anyway, you get some solid makeup effects and some solid practical effects a little bit later, and some pretty well done gore effects. So without really explaining a lot, we just kind of had to make up the plot on our own, me and Lady Fat So we assumed that this town is cursed. There is a plague in this town. The town's cursed. And so at some point, when people have children, they all grow up to be psycho killers. Tra la 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 la. Right? That's kind of what we got out of the movie. And if we miss something, it's not worth going back to analyze and try to figure it out. This movie's not worth your time for that. So we that's kind of what we got out of it. But a little bit more gets revealed later. I'll talk about it when we get to it here. So now more tra la la is going on. Now we're now all the freaky kids, those crazy kids out there, tra la la. They're coming around now. They're going to the abandoned car. They're surrounding the abandoned car. They reach in. They end up killing the mother, which was a very I think they were trying to make it like horrific and suspenseful because the daughter escapes and hides somewhere and watches underneath the car her mother uh just laid out there and she's not moving. And we were confused. We were like, did she get stabbed? Is she wounded? We didn't see blood. Like, why is the mom just fucking laying on the ground while the kids skippity doodah around her with the fucking twigs. They have these little twig branches, all right, and they're just hitting her like they're just annoying her. They're annoying the mother constantly, and I'm like, and the daughter's like, oh, she's watching her mom getting twiggied, and I'm just kind of like, I think they were really trying to go for something horrific and suspenseful, but I didn't see a wound. I mean, the editing is atrocious in this movie, and I'm going to talk about the editing a little bit later. It is fucking horrible. So maybe we missed a part during the attack where the mom gets stabbed or something. I don't know. Okay. But she's just laying there getting twigged and crying. I'm like, get the fuck up and bitch slap these fucking Seagal slap these little assholes. Like, what are you doing? So anyway, she ends up dying. She causes a distraction so her daughter could get away. Whatever the fuck. She's dead. Oh, okay. Anyway, so now back to boyfriend douchebag. So this guy ends up surviving the shotgun blast to his neck or face. He ends up he comes across this village and he gets, brought in this cabin by this older lady who's being really nice to him, but something's really off about her. And then she brings out he brings out this little girl and tries from the dialogue. It kind of sounds like she just wants her this little girl to get laid. I think she said it was her granddaughter. I'm not sure, but it was kind of gross because I think this is supposed to be the baby from the beginning of the movie, all like older now. So this is like 14 years later. So she's like 14, 15. So it's kind of gross that her grandmother is trying to get douchebag with his face blown off laid. Okay, and yes, for some strange reason her eyeballs are on the outside. I don't have a close up, but when I first saw the DVD I thought she was wearing goggles or something because I looked at it far away, but no, that's her eyeballs. This is supposed to be creepy, I guess. But she's all down, like, hey, let's go. I ain't had a man. Let's fuck this, let's do this. But the old lady, excuse me, mentions that, we welcome outsiders. Oh, yes, we do. We bring in the outsiders all from the outside and we bring them in. We love outsiders. So, you like the way my granddaughter looks? And of course, at this point, he's like, lady, my face is blown off. Can you help me? Can you give me a phone? Can you like help me out here? Well, she leaves the room. Daughter here tries to get frisky with douchebag, and of course he's like freaking out, like, get away from me. And then she ends up stabbing his hand. Pretty cool gore practical effect. That was kind of cool. And he ends up like just ripping the hand off the knife and runs off. And then the old lady calls for help for the skippity doodahs to grab their vicious twiggies, and hunt down this man. So they end up again. I'm like, dude, is this guy gonna fucking die yet? So they end up capturing him. They find him. He's like laying down in the forest next to a tree. They end up fucking with him and pushing like a branch like through his wound. And I was like, well, that now he's dead, right? No. And then they end up they end up going through his eyeballs. They poke out his eyeballs. They put something through it, like a really strong rope, and they end up hanging him from a tree from his eyeballs, which obviously would hurt, right? And it's supposed to. And some of the gore effects is okay. Practical effects are not bad, but he's just hanging there. What ruins it? He's hanging there again. This guy had a better death the first time around. He had a better death. Shotgun blast to the face, done. So he's hanging there, and she's tee-heeing, she's enjoying it. Tee-hee, tee-hee. And then what ruined it, it's supposed to be this horrific scene. He's hanging from his eyes, right? And then the kids stand up, and then they all start throwing like pebbles and little rocks at him, and it's just like, man, 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 and that's it. That's the end of the scene. There's no double confirmation that douchebag is dead. You never see him again. And I'm losing patience. I am losing patience with Plague Town. That's creepy. Yeah. Binocular ring eyes prank gone right. Yeah. So I'm losing patience now. I'm like, okay, movie, you are. All right. So again, really not a lot of happening, and she ends up. We're back up with the blonde bitch, the sister. She got caught. They tie her to a tree, and then they start doing some bullshit to her. And then sister shows up just in time. The goth sister saves blonde bitch sister and cuts her off from the tree. They both fight the two tee-hee-heers here. They both fight these guys, and it's one of the worst edited fight scenes I've ever seen in my life. It is one of the worst. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck is happening? You're going to have a headache watching this fight. I don't give a shit if these two actresses are not stunt women. I don't give a shit if they are not martial artists. It's called basics. Just show them stabbing a leg or swinging. Show it. It is one of the Lady Fabled was screaming at the TV. This is one of the worst fight, and this is supposed to be a big moment because now both sisters have bonded. Now at this point in the movie, even the blonde sister apologizes to her goth sister. It's like, I'm so sorry for being a bitch. I'm just jealous of you, and I'm just so sorry for being a bitch. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. So it's supposed to be this big moment, right? And the kills aren't satisfying. And the way they take these guys out are not satisfying. Again, I am losing patience now. And this has nothing to do with slow burn. This has nothing to do with this movie being low budget. This has nothing to do with any of that or the inconsequential plot. None of that is the reason why I'm losing patience, getting angry. It's just everything is building now. Everything is just building. And I'm just like, oh my God. I really hope we don't get another fight scene like that. It is one of the absolute atrociously edited, worst looking fight scenes I've ever seen in my life. Now, the movie decides to keep going. Yes. This wish, there's the original Children of the Corn. There's haters for that. And that's fine. If you don't like it, that's fine. But this makes Children of the Corn, the original, look like a masterpiece. This makes this movie look like a masterpiece. So yeah. So now they're on the run. They come into town. You see more adults that look normal. So again, when this town was cursed, this is what we're going with because the movie didn't really explain it that well. Once the town was cursed, that's when you started getting the deformed children. But then later it's revealed. So again, they're trying to escape. They get into this car and they try to leave. But they get cornered and bum rushed by the town. The town ends up catching them on the bridge. They can't drive away. And now you start seeing other adults now that look all fucked up. So now our theory's been thrown out the window. So the town is cursed. That's it. That's all you need. Just go with that. The town was cursed, whatever. Evil, evil. That's it. That's the only explanation you're going to get. Why she's the leader, I don't know. I still don't know why she's the leader. But both of our girls get captured. And again, one of the most unsatisfying endings ever. I mean, if you thought the people hated the ending to what, we need to do something. Oh, this is even worse. So surely it can't be that bad. Look it up. It is one of the worst edited fight scenes I've ever seen. And it makes me angry because I'm already losing patience at this point. And now's the time where movie, you got to ramp it up. Let's go, movie. You got to go. Let's go. Let's get some excitement, suspense, action. Let's go. You got it. We're running out of time. We're running out of time. And you're going to give us something fucking horrible like this? Like just unbelievably bad. Well, anyway, they get captured. And the ending is this. You never see Blonde again. Goth girl wakes up in a room with other girls that look normal. You could say they were also outsiders that were kidnapped. They're there to breed. The end. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed the movie. What? You want? Wait, what? You want more? Nah, you don't need more. That's all you need. The end. Credits. Because fuck you. That's why. That's how it ends. She wakes up. Other girls are in there. We got one girl. Who knows how long she's been there? And she's like rocking the cradle. And you look in the cradle and the baby's deformed. So what is the point of hiring? What is the point of bringing in outsiders to breed when you're still going to have deformed kids? What is the fucking point? And then Goth Girl goes, oh, that's not going to happen. I'd rather die than do what they want me to do. And then she gets up and then she looks towards the window and she sees something. And then she makes her way towards the window and looks outside. And then we have a reverse camera shot of her looking outside, and then the camera goes away from the house and credits. So yeah, fuck this movie. Seriously, fuck this movie. And again, what makes me angry, not just because of what's clearly bad in the film, what makes me angry is not just because of one of the worst edited fights I've ever seen. What makes me angry is there was potential in the film. You had these vistas, you had these old rundown cabins, you had these creepy looking people, you had these evil looking kids with masks on, you had this decent makeup, you had some pretty good practical effects and gore effects. There was something there. I think a better filmmaker, or maybe someone who had a bigger budget and refined the script, even though there's really no script to the movie, if you think about it. I think this could have worked. Now, how much more exciting it would have been if she woke up, her and her sister woke up, same ending, right? Breeding camp, but they find a way to escape there. And it's just slash fest. Fuck you. Get out of my way. We're getting out of here. Just killing crazy looking zombie kids and crazy fucking adults. Just her and her sister going to town. Fucking, I mean, that would have been such a more satisfying ending. Maybe they both don't make it or get away. But dude, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that ending? Just gonna look at the window. I see something. That's it. The end. That just, like, I hate horror movies, and it has nothing to do with the budget. I hate horror movies that there's wasted potential, and they waste the potential and then they waste your time, and I hate that. I just that's what makes me more angry. But the movie that's coming up that I'm gonna rip it a new a new one, it's a different kind of anger, similar, but it's kinda different at the same time. But we'll get to that. You'll see that soon. You'll see that soon. But yeah, that is Plague Town. So again, just don't waste your time on this one. Pass. This is a pass. And I did see some fans for it, and they're like, "Oh, it's freaky." I think Fangoria put in a nice word for it. You can't introduce annoying characters and then don't give us satisfying kills, and then, don't give us a coherent plot, and then just end. It's not a good movie. It's not a good movie. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, so pass on Plague Town for me.